Friday night football gets us up and running for 2025 as we look out over a picturesque Jack McLaughlin Oval. And what a heavyweight clash for our first men's match coverage of 2025. Lambton Jaffas and Broadmeadow Magic, two of the biggest rivals in northern New South Wales football, going head-to-head for the HMRI Charity Shield. It's a rematch of last year's inaugural showdown where Magic claimed the win and went on to dominate the season, securing the premiership and championship. Now they're back looking to pick up right where they left off. Captain Jeremy Wilson has made it clear when there's silver on the line, Magic wants to win. With a stable squad that boasts key additions like Ezra Palambini from Manly United and Jack Simmons from Sydney Olympic, they're ready to make another statement. But don't count out the Lambton Jaffas. After a disappointing end to 2024, they're out to prove a point. The experience of Captain Ben Kennedy, he's openly said he'd love to put one over their old rivals. And with a fresh, youthful squad featuring Joey Langlois and Lachlan Graham, they might just surprise a few people. Two rivals, one trophy, and the perfect stage to ignite the new season. Strap yourselves in. It's Jaffas versus Magic under lights. I'm Chris McPherson, joined in commentary by Northern New South Wales Technical Director Ryan Deutsch. Ryan, with our first silverware of the year on the line, how does this one play out?
Yeah, good evening, everybody, and welcome to Jack McLaughlin Oval. Looking forward to this one between Lambton Jaffas and Broadmeadow Magic. Chris, as you said, two heavyweights in the Northern New South Wales NPL 1 League. And obviously it's a rematch from last year. Hopefully it's not the curse of the commentator. For those that remember last year, I said it's going to be a stalemate and it's going to be a tight game. And then 1 minute in, I think Bailey Wells pulled it in the bottom corner. So today I'm going to go a little bit more adventurous, and I'm going to say it's going to be a real entertaining game, and I'm really looking forward to it.
Let's take a moment of pause as the teams line up, and we see one of the great men of Northern New South Wales football, Chris Turner, and his family join us on the field for a moment silent for the passing of their son, Charlie.
Ladies and gentlemen, this week the football family was saddened to hear the passing of Charlie Turner. Charlie was a regular around the Northern New South Wales football NPL. With his infectious smile, had an amazing ability to brighten the day of anyone that had the pleasure to spend time with him. I'm joined today by football's own Chris Turner, Charlie's dad, Felicity, Charlie's mum, and Charlie's beautiful sisters, Sophie and Holly. Well, this is an extremely difficult time for the Turner family and our football family. I know how much love our game has for Charlie, and that he will always be remembered and celebrated as the most joyous, happy and energetic football fans that we have had for some time. Please join us in a moment's silence to remember Charlie and celebrate the impact he has had on so many of us. Thank you, everyone. Rest in peace, little man.
A wonderful show of respect for such a wonderful family and a wonderful fan of Northern New South Wales football, Ryan. And it's lovely that we can, I guess, honour Charlie on this great stage.
Yeah, and you can see even how much it affects Peter Haynes, our CEO at Northern New South Wales football, and that is a tragedy that's felt all across our football family, and wishing all the Turners, all the best.
Our thoughts are certainly with the Turner family. As hard as it is, we now turn our eyes to a football match that has some silverware on the line. These two sides, as Ryan touched on before, clashed last year 3-1, and it set the tone for an all-conquering season for Broadmeadow, I suppose you'd say, Ryan. They took everything that was before them, barring going and, taking some major scalps and winning an Australia Cup, but every other opportunity they had, they basically took.
Yep, fantastic season for Broadmeadow Magic, and they were a real shining light representing our region. The last game, certainly, we probably had Lambton Jaffas just pipping Broadmeadow Magic on paper this time last year. And Jim Kresner, in charge of Broadmeadow, and everybody there at the club had done a fantastic job. And quite rightly, in my opinion, Chris, came away with all the silverware. They did a great job. And it'll be interesting tonight to see what Lambton Jaffas' response is coming out of last season. They're obviously very disappointed in how they finished the season. And for me, it's a real opportunity to show to themselves and to the rest of the competition that they're back. They mean business. There's had lots of movement in the squad. And again, you know, I've said it before, but I'm really looking forward to seeing how they come up in this game.
Let's have a rapid run through of the two starting 11s. We'll get to the bench players when they come out a little bit later. But Broadmeadow Magic in goals again, as it was last year. He's a fixture now, Luis Alvarez. Number 2 is Joseph Kresner. Number 4, Tom Beecham. Number 5 is Will Ingram. Number 8 is Ezra Palambini, one of their new signings. Number 9, Jaden Stewardson. Number 10 is Jack Simmons. Number 11, Jared Baker. Number 14 is Nick Kachev. Number 20, Jeremy Wilson. Number 21 is James Kresner. While for Lambton Jaffas, number 1, the man we all know, Ben Kennedy, their captain. Number 2 is Matthew Butner. Number 3, Pat Bond. Number 4, James Oates. Number 6, Joseph Langlois. Number 8 is Yuhei Sato, the Japanese import. Number 10, Archie Finn. Number 11, Lachlan Griffiths. Number 15, Sam Donnellan. Number 22 is Zach McShane. And number 44, the enforcer, the former Newcastle Jet, Nikolai Topor-Stanley. As we get underway here at Jacqueline McLaughlin Oval under lights. That one looked like it might have gone across the sideline, and our assistant referee is right onto that straight away, and it'll be the first throw in the match for Lambton Jaffas. If you've only just tuned into Northern New South Wales Football's YouTube channel, then you've missed an absolute thriller in the Women's Charity Shield. It went to penalties after the teams couldn't be separated at 1-1 at full time, and it was Gemma Simon who sealed it, the 150-game A-League veteran for Charles Sanazuri, to claim the first silverware of the season that's up for grabs. And now the men attempted long-range shot. Lachlan Griffiths. They go wide here, looking for an offside flag, and they get it. Ben Kennedy, though, was more than up to the task anyway.
Do you know what? You can see right from the start here, Lambton Jaffas are really up for this game. A little bit of a long-range shot from Lachlan Griffiths there. And I think this is going to be a marker of how Lambton want to approach this game. Yes, it's a charity shield. Yes, it's a pre-season game. Some would see it as a friendly game still. I'm absolutely not saying that for these two teams today, and I feel a real show of intent there from Lambton Jaffas right from the off.
Yeah, we talked about it before. It's an interesting finding that balance when it comes to a pre-season game at any time, but then all of a sudden you put some silverware on the line. These two sides, when it comes to inside the white rectangle, don't like each other. There's a very healthy rivalry, as we touched on in the introduction. Broadmeadow won everything last year, including this game that we were fortunate enough to call. And then Lambton, they've got a point to prove after they were nipping at Broadmeadow's heels all the way through and then went out in straight sets.
Yeah, I agree. And I think, you know, when you get to this level of football, there's not one single player that's on this field right now that is stepping onto this field thinking that this is going to be a walk in the park. It's a pre-season friendly. It's about getting minutes in the legs. They're not thinking that at all, let me tell you that right now. They are 100% wanting to come out and lay a marker down for the season. Broadmeadow Magic did it last year, and you saw the resulting season that they had from it. So I'm really expecting to see some fireworks tonight.
I'll certainly get this crowd on their feet. A good crowd in, supporting a wonderful cause in the Hunter Medical Research Institute. It's been a great initiative of Northern New South Wales football over the last 2 years to get this charity shield up and running, and both these teams looking to get that spring into their step to head into round 1. Hard to believe that it feels like the grand final was only a few weeks ago, and now here we are a week away from the season proper with the first silverware on the line as Broadmeadow look to go on the attack. Baker threads it wide. Ingram tries to cross it into the box, but it's broken up. Drops back, thinks to play all the way through the defensive unit. And we go all the way back to Alvarez. course, Ryan, the Northern New South Wales season will get underway in just 6 days. We've got a Thursday night kickoff. Our newest newly promoted Bell Swans out at Blacksmith kicking it off up against Adamstown. It's going to be a good way to start the season.
Yeah, and obviously for Adamstown as well, right? Because they stayed up on the very last day. So a good opportunity for them to, what they would assume is potentially get some early points on the table. Bell Swans are absolutely going to be arguing against that. And a Thursday night under the lights, you know, a real curtain raiser for the season in a regular season game. So again, looking forward to that one.
It'll be the match of the round on YouTube as well. Looking forward to calling that one next Thursday night. Opportunity here for Magic to draw first blood with a set piece. Baker set to take it. Waits it well, headed away. The defensive Lambton up to the task. And they clear it away, but the threat not completely done. I think that's 15 metres from the byline for a throw in. It'll be Ingram to take it. Play it all the way back now. Reasonably aggressive tackle early on from Sato, the Japanese import. Cross it wide. Baker's been involved in plenty in the opening 5 minutes. That looked a little ordinary in terms of a challenge at this time, but probably alludes to your point that these guys aren't taking this by any half measures.
Yeah, and look, Broadmeadow, even after Lambton's quick start, Broadmeadow have settled into the game. They certainly seem to be the side that will possess the ball a little bit more. You can see, and potentially we'll see this a little bit more, that Broadmeadow's style of play here will certainly be a high pressing game. They're a young side, they're an energetic side. Whereas if you compare Lambton Jaffas' style of approach, they seem to be letting the Broadmeadow players have the ball in and around their own defensive third. So it's a real clash, not just of titans and of enemies, but almost a clash of contrasting styles also as well.
Certainly is, as all of a sudden Baker pokes his head through. Good defensive work. Kennedy, as calm as you like there under the pressure of the advancing Baker. It's going to be interesting to see. Speaking of Lambton, an opening, you might say, at the top of their attack with Cal Bradbury heading across town to Olympic this year, and who's going to fill that void and step up and replace those goals?
Yeah, huge signing for Newcastle Olympic, and you know, you talk about recruitment, and Lambton Jaffas certainly have done that this year, but my gosh, show of Newcastle Olympic. I feel like they're really making a statement for to try and get a little bit more pressure on these two at the top of the league, and they'll be certainly looking for Bradbury to add to the goal tallies there. And as you said, that leaves opportunity now for some of the Lambton Jaffas players to do that. Most notably, probably on the bench for Lambton Jaffas is the Japanese boy Kirihara. He's coming in this season, and I'm really looking forward to seeing him.
It's good to see some continued international flavour coming in. We've obviously, as you can clearly see from these lineups, there's ex-A-League players coming in. We've got the young stars locally rising up, and you're throwing a sprinkling of international talent. And the Jaffas have now got their 2 Japanese imports. As you said, he's come out of a system that, you know, you only have to mention the name of Yokohama F. Marinos and people straight away are going to sit up and take notice. So it'll be interesting. There's going to be a lot of expectation on him. It'll be interesting if we get a nice look at him tonight.
Yeah, Chris, the only thing I can think of there is he's maybe arrived later than everybody else, or maybe not has got as much minutes in his legs, which is probably why he's starting on the bench tonight. You know, so it'll be, hopefully we can see something from him. But as an example, here you go, Chris, there's a lot of time and space for the Broadmeadow players to have to play kind of passes like that, and they're in again here, Broadmeadow Magic.
They certainly are. Ball thread into the box, missed opportunity, and it's in the back of the net. And again, it comes from the work of Baker. He's been the live wire across the opening exchanges. And while he might not register the assist after it came off the keeper, one thing is for sure, Jaden Stewardson will be the man credited with the goal. And just like it was last year, Broadmeadow wastes no time getting onto the scoreboard.
And it's really interesting, right, because we called this a couple of minutes ago about Lambton Jaffas allowing Broadmeadow Magic time and space on the ball in their own defensive third, coming into the midfield third, and that's actually the second time that broad sweeping pass, switch passes has been on for Broadmeadow Magic. Baker took a great first touch beyond the fullback and came up with the goods there. I wonder if Lambton Jaffas have seen that. I noticed the two boys up front for Lambton Jaffas having a conversation. I wonder if we're going to see a change in their style. But that's where Broadmeadow Magic don't get caught out, because they manage to get a little bit of pressure on the Lambton Jaffas defence. They don't give Topper Stanley time to play the ball. The boy Jimmy Oates from Manly
turned it over here. Danger for a second, but Topper Stanley just gets a deflection on it. Nervous times at the back for Lambton, and undoubtedly some frustrated times on the bench if you're David Tanchevsky. Both teams pressing hard in defence, trying to take their opportunity. Kresner. They go wide again, and that's just a cynical foul, and unsurprisingly the referee's going to go to his pocket early here. A little protest, but I don't think he's even convincing himself with that argument.
But if I just finish off what I was saying, Jimmy Oates there and Topper Stanley, we know the quality that they've got on the ball. Broadmeadow Magic don't allow them the time and space on the ball. But even the pass that brought this free kick here, again, time and space on the ball for Broadmeadow Magic. And believe me, they've got a lot of quality, this young side. I'm really impressed by the young players that Broadmeadow Magic have. So for me, I'd be trying to change that if you can.
You're going to have to find an answer, because they're getting picked apart on the outside at the moment. And now the Magic have an opportunity. Can they double their lead? Just over 10 minutes gone. A contest in the box, and the experienced shot stopper, Kennedy, steps up and snares it with two hands. Sato very vocal. He won't be happy with that ball. Shane would like to have had that one over again. He picked the average between his two players and found a red jersey instead. Shane gets up for the header. Wilson goes long with his. And now it'll be a Jaffas throw in. Good challenge there. The referee says no. Broadmeadow trying to take the throw. No, that will be Jaffas' ball. They go again. Sato makes a good run. Great tackle there. Laid by Palambini, the new signing, but he couldn't control the ball. A shot taken from range. And Alvarez beat there. He'd come out off his line, and a bit of coulda, woulda, shoulda here, Ryan, but a couple of inches lower, and I think Alvarez would have been turning around and picking that out of his net. Yeah,
I just think he saw him off his line there potentially, which changed his type of shot and tried to catch the keeper out. But as you said, Chris, just a little bit too much on it.
Here they go again, trying to go around. The defence up to it this time. Pass broken up at first touch. Well played. That's better from the Jaffas. Archie Finn. Will he be the man to step up in the absence of Bradbury? They played into the box. Dangerous now. Parried away. Beautiful defence. Well read there. Beecham came across, closed the space, and will be happy to concede a corner.
It's a great block by Beecham. Had a great grand final last year as well. I was interested. I thought Lockie Griffiths there, I thought there might have been an idea in his head to go to ground there, give the referee a decision to make. He decided to stay on his feet. Got a good shot away, but as you said, a great block there by Tommy Beecham.
Will be Sato to take the corner. Everyone set deep on the 18-yard box. They surge forwards. Topple Stanley almost gets to it. Hagen on the set piece. A little clip there. And the referee straight onto it, nips it in the bud, and a talking to is all that's needed. Meanwhile, in all the chaos, Tom Beecham's found himself down on the ground rolling around. I'm not sure what happened there. A lot of bodies coming in at a lot of pace, and including one of the bigger frames in the NPL in Nikolai Topor-Stanley. You wouldn't want to be on the reverse end of a collision with him coming in at a rate of knots, would you? So it will now come for a free kick, and Alvarez will be the man to take it. Ball pushed forward. Oates happy to play it back. Well, Simmons was almost caught unawares, and the ball was on him before he knew it. Oates, rock solid at the back there. 1-2 with McShane. Not much happening. Looking for some open lanes for passing. Sato keeping busy. On top of Stanley has the ball at his feet, trying to create some options. They're going to try and play Broadmeadow at their own game and go around them. In the end, Broadmeadow set across the sideline, and McShane will take the throw. Denellen turns to the outside, tries to use pace. Langlois. We speak about Bradbury going to Newcastle Olympic, and the traffic's gone the other way there with Langlois coming on board this year. A good pick-up. Well, Bradbury's obviously a man who gets a bag of goals every year. Langlois is going to be potentially a fixture of this side for the next few years, that's for sure. Sato goes to ground relatively easily there, one would have thought. And the referee says there's nothing in that and doesn't reward it. Broadmeadow head it forward. Oates diffuses again. Sato straight back to his feet. Tries to cross it in, and his opposite number in Palambini wears it in the back of the head. And we'll have a throw in the way of Lambton Jaffas. They can go up as far as 6 or 7 metres from the byline. Promising opportunity to try and nab one back. McShane throws it into the box. Finn goes to ground. Yeah, the referee more than up to it. Shoulder to shoulder, 2 more players come together, and Sato goes to ground. Oates leaves it. Topor-Stanley retreats.
That's where Stewarton's got to do a little bit better there. He's got to hold the ball up. You can see Broadmeadow very, very deep right now under a little bit of pressure. When it goes up to the big man, he's got to do better and hold it up there. Better from Jaffas, though. Look at this.
Playing with fire.
Look at this from Jaffas. Much better. They've changed their approach slightly over the last couple of minutes.
Sato takes it on a nice turn. Off boots. Finn. Trying to use his size and frame. He does well, turns in well. He might have been a little unfortunate there. It was one of those ones that if the referee doesn't give it as he didn't, you can live with it. But if he had have given it, I think you could have lived with it too.
Yeah, not sure myself. I think it was soft. I think it's a good call from the referee there. He's looking for it. He's absolutely looking for it. Look, you know, you give the referee a decision to make there. The Broadmeadow Magic defender was a little bit tight on the Jaffas player, but for me, was probably a little bit soft.
Interesting thing, and it's always interesting how it plays into the referee's minds as well. That's about the 4th or 5th time Jaffas player's already gone to ground as the assistant referee's flag goes up for offside. And it starts to get to a point of it's the boy who cried wolf, isn't it? So if there is one of those ones, even if it is on the line, then all of a sudden the referee assumes that it's a repeat dose sometimes, and you can't blame them for that. But
yeah, and you know what it came from, Chris, ultimately was that little bit of higher pressure from Lambton Jaffas. Certainly you can see there's been a little bit of a change of approach now. They're 20 minutes in, and then, you know, ball recoveries, if you're winning the ball in high areas, you're closer to the opposition's goal, you've got more chance to put pressure on it.
Speaking of winning the ball, Topor-Stanley does what Topor-Stanley does and wins out a one-on-one contest for a header. That one's come off the Lambton defender in McShane, and it'll be a throw-in for the Magic. Ingram to take it. Looking for an open player. There's no one immediately presenting, so he goes long. It's played back to him. Pushed into the direction of Beecham. Bodies in motion and colliding. The ball not going where anyone really wanted it. Scrappy at fair. Acrobatic back heel in the end, and I don't think there's a lot of intention in what happened there, but the referees determined the collision as the players worn a stray limb in the face.
Yeah, and another example where this type of game, you may expect or you may think that it's a pre-season friendly, there's not much at stake, we'll just feel each other out. Another example there where it's clear that both these teams have come to play, they've come to win the game, and I think that's a real credit to both of these teams and also to this competition. You know, a good curtain raiser for me to the season ahead.
Certainly is, as we touched on in that girls' game that went to penalties. If that's what we're promised for the season ahead, and equally so far with this opening 20 minutes, if we're going to get football like this for the next 20 plus weeks, we'll be very happy, fans, commentators and the like. It just goes further to show the wonderful standard of football that we've got on offer both in our men's and women's competitions in northern New South Wales. Finn, out-muscled there. Scrappy challenges. McShane plays it back. Topple Stanley takes it all the way back to Kennedy. Will take his time. Assesses the options. Goes deep to their left. Now what can they conjure? Well crossed in. Beats one defender. A long range shot. Beats the post as well as the keeper. Sato. That didn't miss by much.
Yeah, he's lively, right? He's lightly up front. And it'll be interesting to see how he partners with his fellow countryman Kirihara hopefully when he comes on. It'll be interesting to see the link that those two might have. But again, some real positive signs from Sato.
Hard driven, miscued. When he gets a boot to the goal kick, McShane, a bit of good fortune there. He gets some space on the right wing. Charging down with a little bit of room. Goes in early. The run just a little overcooked, and Broadmeadow able to pull it apart. But you can see Lambton started to have some success.
Do you know what? I love that first-time ball along the ground there as well. It can really catch defenders out. Imagine this, Chris. Defenders running towards their own goal. Ball's coming in with pace along the ground. Very difficult to deal with. Beecham did very well there. I think it was Beecham that managed to get the clearance. He done very well.
Dangerous into the box. It skews the way of the Jaffas. Sato turns inside the defender. If he can get a shot on here, it's skewed off. Again, the defence of Broadmeadow. Scrambling on the line, doing well. Now Jimmy Oates has got some work to do. He's under pressure, gets it back to Kennedy.
Tommy Beecham started this season like he ended the last one. Another very important block there from the defender.
So I think we can credit him up for almost 3 saves of his own already today, and we're 22 minutes in, which if you're setting that sort of tone, it's going to be tough to get through this Broadmeadow defence. Sato barking instructions. Chips ball, sitting up for Finn. Can he beat Alvarez? No, Alvarez well read and does well just to pump the brakes and make sure he holds inside the 18-yard box. Came off his line with timing to perfection there, Luis Alvarez. Oates with a header. Topple Stanley now clears it downfield. Magic will be happy to watch it go across the line and take the throw in. It's past the midway point of this first half. And it is the Broadmeadow Magic, leading 1-0 in the 2025 HMRI Charity Shield. Jared Baker cuts inside, and he's taken down in the box, and that will be a penalty. They made that decision very easy for the referee there, Ryan.
Do you know what Baker does really well there? And this is something that I want to highlight for any young people that are watching this game. He's so intelligent with his dribble that he goes across the defender. The defender has no other option there. He can't get to the ball. He gets his body between the ball and the defender. The defender's got one or two options. Bring him down or let him go. And Jimmy Oates decided to bring him down in that moment. I'm not sure it was the best decision, but we'll see now if PK can make the big save here.
The challenge now, one of their key players in defence is wearing a yellow card for the next 60-plus minutes. Baker steps up and over the top of a diving Kennedy. And all of a sudden, Broadmeadow lead by 2 goals in under 25 minutes. And it feels like deja vu of season 2024 in the inaugural HMRI Charity Shield.
Chris, the biggest compliment I can pay to Broadmeadow Magic right now is we've not even mentioned the name Bailey Wells. The best player for me in the league by a country mile last season. And I was really interested to see how Broadmeadow would go without his creativity, his guile on the field. But I tell you what, who I've been impressed with is Jared Baker out here on the left-hand side. He's looked fantastic in possession.
He's created a lot. He's looked dangerous. As you said, it just really appears that he's a smart footballer. And it's all well and good to have all of the skill attributes, but if you don't have it between the ears, then it doesn't quite get you to that next level. And he's really coming into his own. And as you said, they're going to need some players to step up. And he's certainly putting his hand up to be one of those in 2025. Sato under pressure from that man Baker, and he wins it out. Presner puts it forward. Simmons. Sydney Olympic last year, Simmons. And again, the referee happy to let it go both ways when players are going to ground with not much contact. He's going to just tell them to continue on. So I'll either figure it out pretty quickly soon, Ryan, or we're going to have a lot of players rolling around on the ground not getting much for it.
No, and for me, the referee's in a great spot. His positioning's fantastic. It's clear that he's letting those kind of challenges go. And for me, I think he's right because, you know, there's not a lot of contact and he's letting the game flow.
That was a clip over the shoulder from James Cresner right in front of the referee. And again, he's in perfect position, makes the decision, and we move along. Topple Stanley. The pile drive along. Looking for Finn. Can't quite control it though. Now Baker does well. Manages to keep that inside.
Well played.
And now look at him pushing down the effort. And that's...
He could be off
Oates
here.
Could be in trouble here. He will be. And he gets a second yellow card 26 minutes in. And the key defenseman, James Oates, his night is over. We talked about it after that first one. As you said, it was probably an unnecessary decision. He wore the yellow card. And there, that one, look, he's gone for the last line of defence because he knows how dangerous Baker is there. But he'd forgotten he had a yellow already on his head.
Yeah, it's a silly decision for me from the experienced centre back there. Again, you know, one of the better players on the field, in my opinion. It's on the halfway line. You know, Jared Baker's started this game absolutely fantastic, and he's probably thinking if he gets him behind me here, there's not much between him and goal, but there's still 40, 50 yards of space there.
Just shows, I guess, what pressure does. They get away with this one. But now they're down 2 goals and a man. It's going to take something quite extraordinary to come back. We've certainly seen weirder things in football. It's a wonderful game, the way it delivers some of those storylines. But the Jaffas, they're going to have to stand up. Their defence has already been under constant pressure, and Oates has been one of the key pillars of that. So to now be without him, that looked like it might have been a handball, and it was. It's going to be a long 60-odd minutes from here, you think, for the Jaffas.
But for me, Chris, and it happened right above our commentating position here, the referee's spot on again for me. It's a clear yellow card. He's already on a yellow card, so the referee's got no choice but to send him. I'm just disappointed for the neutral, right? Because what I don't want it to do is I don't want it to negatively impact the game.
Baker takes a long-range shot. 100% agree. It's one of those interesting things, though, because the referee could have quite easily been drawn into that hole. He's already got a yellow, and it's a spectacle game in the preseason. But that challenge in a microcosm by itself is a yellow card every day of the week. As you said, it was right in front of us. We're right above it. He was right on top of it. I have to credit him, actually. Every one of these decisions he's made, his positioning has been impeccable. And considering the time of the year it is and the rate the ball's moving around this field, he's done wonderfully well over the opening 30 minutes, the referee. Topple Stanley back there under pressure. Does well to earn the goal kick and continue to hang in for the time being. What do they do here? Who do they turn to? The Jaffas. You certainly feel that if they concede again before half-time, that will be curtains. Well, they might not need to score. They can't afford to leak another. Down a man here. Of course, if you just tuned in as well, we had a thriller in the Women's Charity Shield earlier. 1-1 at full time between Charlestown, Missouri and Newcastle Olympic. The first 8 penalties all hit the markers. Broadmeadow go on the attack here, looking for a third. And it's seen away by Pat Bond. And then it was a miss from Olympic, and Gemma Simon stepped up and sealed it for Missouri to take some silverware to add to their title from last year.
Yeah, Jaffas have just changed their shape slightly now with the red card. They've just pushed back Pat Bond into central defence, and they've pulled McShane back. It's going to impact Sato's position. You can see him now; he's not as central as what he was. It's going to leave the Lambton Jaffas striker Finn up there on his own, which, as we've seen already, that could be a problem for Lambton Jaffas, giving Broadmeadow Magic time and space on the ball. So it'll be interesting if Jaffas stick with that beyond this first half. For me now, it's about consolidation for them and just making sure that they don't do anything silly in the next 10-15 minutes.
McShane now trying to make a run wide. The ball probably a little too heavy out in front of him. And it's seen away by Ingram. It's certainly going to be a tactical masterclass if David Tenchevsky can get them back from here. That one just sliced off the outside of the boot by Griffiths. He's looked to take his opportunities and fire the shots and back himself when he gets down in that attacking third, but that one just not how he would have wanted to connect. Now, Broadmeadow, they continue to press, continue with the foot on the throat. Good physical challenges both ways, and then we're going to see a yellow card back the other way, are we? Looks like we will. Palambini on debut in the red of Broadmeadow Magic. He's come from Manly United, and he's earned himself a yellow card on 32 minutes.
That's the two ex-Manly United boys there with the discipline issues right now.
We could make a narrative out of that if we wanted to, but we might leave it alone. There's already enough of a rivalry between Newcastle and Manly, I think.
Maybe on the northern beaches, but certainly not up here with the northern New South Wales referees.
Now we see Kennedy drive it long, can't be reeled in by Griffiths. And unsurprisingly, though, it was Beecham that was there, the defensive wall again. He's been so impressive so far for them. Speaking of defensive walls, Topple Stanley decides to come and throw himself into the action there. Kennedy clears downfield, but only as far as Wilson. You can see the fatigue just starting to kick in. The pace has dropped a notch, and the execution not quite as clean from both teams. But someone who hasn't lost their pace is Yuhei Sato. His acceleration's on a different level in this game. Langlois has the ball deflected away from him, and they'll get the throw with Lambton. As I was saying, it's going to certainly be interesting to see what David Tenchevsky does from here. At what point does he decide to go to his bench? How does he play this? As you said, it's probably a consolidation, and maybe if he gets to half-time at 2-0 still, that's not the worst result from here.
Yeah, right now, it's probably the best case scenario for Lambton Jaffas. I think if it stays 2-0 and they're in at half-time, 2-0 is a tricky scoreline in football, right? It can change in a second. I think if it stays 2-0, I think we'll certainly be seeing some action from the bench at half-time because Dave Tanchevsky will want to certainly put Broadmeadow Magic under as much pressure as they can in this second half.
And we know there's some names on that bench that have certainly got some potential and ability, and as we talked about before, Kirihara could be the wild card. Again, players just going to ground under not a lot there in the box. Well, pressure. Well seen off by Bond. McShane. That one was a pretty clumsy challenge. And Void's going into the pocket for the time being, but...
Yeah, that was a nasty tackle, if I'm honest. I'm surprised the referee's not gone into his pocket there as well. I actually heard the connection there right on the top of his foot. Bit of a nasty one, that.
Denellan's back to his feet, which is the better news. He's still quite ginger, though, so... Looks like it's on top of the foot there, so hopefully it's just a few studs into the top of the foot and a little bit of a bump and a bruise, and he's all right to continue on, because that's the last thing Lambton need now. Topple Stanley, Langlois, Bond, thinks about McShane, but goes to the jack in a box that is Sato. The defence again up to it. Ingram's been good on that left side of defence for Magic.
I love Sato's attitude, right? It's 2-0, 35 minutes in, one man down, but he still looks to do stuff. He still looks to get on the ball. He's not shy. He wants things to happen. He's going to be a real live wire this season. I'm looking forward to watching him.
Inside the box, and again, who steps up? Tom Beecham's there again for 9. He and Jared Baker have been the standouts of the opening 35, and this is a great opportunity. Oh, well done. Luis Alvarez retreating for all money. All odds were against him there as the header came at him from Finn. But he somehow managed to get the right hand back over behind him and parry it back over the bar. And that's why he's such a key piece of this Broadmeadow Magic outfit. That's a phenomenal effort from Luis Alvarez.
Good movement from Finn. Peels off the back of the Broadmeadow Magic defender. Lovely floated ball in. Great header, in fairness. Straight back across the goalkeeper, but the goalkeeper equal to it.
That header beats a lot of goalkeepers, even at this level, but not Alvarez today. Sato, a wonderful corner in, but Alvarez gets the hand to it, punches it away. Baker harassed by McShane. They're breaking on the right. They can't quite get it exactly where they want it. But in the meantime, they go back to the man that is Baker. Huge amounts of space on the right for Magic. Can they get a third? They set themselves and sprayed well wide. But again, that just shows the defensive challenges that the Jaffas are having.
Yeah, look, that's going to be a risk for the Jaffas now. They're a man down. They're 2 goals down. They're going to need to push for it. They're going to need to try and find a goal. They're going to have to commit men forward. It's going to leave spacing behind. But what a lovely pass by Jared Baker out here as well. Switching the point of the attack. Heaps of space down the far right-hand side. And on the money, absolutely on the dime. And he's had a great start to this first half.
Certainly has. He was involved in the lead up to the first. He converted the penalty for the second. And again, as we talked about, would have been easy enough when you're running hot and you've got the hot foot to just back yourself and try and go to the outside there, but it was selfless. Saw the man with all the space, and that's exactly where he went. And it almost paid dividends. Look at that close skill from Sato there. That's a nice ball. Finn, he's got numbers coming into the box. Griffiths is there. He's going to try and take on the player. And he'll get a corner. Assistant referee was quick to point to the corner. Both players in close proximity. Not an easy call to make.
Yeah, judging by the 4 Broadmeadow Magic players' reaction there, it looks like it may have come off of the Lambton Jaffas player.
The Lambton Jaffas player, I think, was Finn. He was very happy just to wander off and not really give anyone a guilty look, I think. But anyway, we'll give the benefit to the referees. They're right there on the spot. Sato pops this one in. Oh, it's beaten everyone, has it? A little glancing side heel from Pat Bond on the way through. Not where he wanted it to, but if he had got a bit more meat on that, even unintentionally, it could have been interesting. Very dangerous in the set piece. He's got some good delivery. And Sato, as you said, he's got a few strings to his bow. Starting to see some of these Japanese players coming out to Australia. We've seen Kota Mizunuma playing for the Jets, doing similar things from those crosses and corners as well. They're just so accurate. Their skill level and accuracy and precision is just at another level.
Even Sato here, he's urging his team to move up the field. Broadmeadow Magic are quite happy to play with it here. Wait until somebody jumps out like they're doing now and then play through them.
That's better from the Jaffas. Pressure forces the mistake and they're surging forward. The hold ball, Topple Stanley racing into the box. I thought he was going to get one. But again, the wonderful covering defence this time. Kachev getting back there and just sees it away for the time being. But that again brings us to another corner from the dangerous Sato. He is everywhere at the moment. He is just, as you said, Ryan, he's driving them on. He's pushing up himself, but he pushes up and then he drops back. He's got just so much in his legs and so much effort in him at the moment. He's just bouncing around and getting so much done. Sato now, who's the man he's looking for? Griffith setting up, trying to get to the back post. Tangled up. Both players holding each other a little bit. And again, the referee says, lads, let's just get on with it. Bond tries to cross that one in. And we'll get a throw in deep in attacking territory. He goes back, McShane. Lobs it optimistically into the box. Alvarez punches it away. Sato floating out there dangerously. What can he create? One-on-one. Earns another corner. Stewartson did enough to block any crossing opportunity, and it comes back to the set piece. Into the final 5 minutes of regulation time of the first half. Broadmeadow Magic leading 2-0. A scrappy goal that came the way of Stewartson and a penalty by Baker. This one a little overcooked. And Bond gets a boot wrapping around the body to this one. It'll be a goal kick. Probably the first real misstep we've seen from Sato so far. If you're David Tenchevsky, I think you've got to be happy with how your team have responded to the red card to this point.
Yeah, it's been a good reaction from Lambton Jaffas. You know, it would have been easy to start to rush things, to start to lose a little bit of discipline, a little bit of structure. They haven't done that, you know, so they've consolidated, and now they've looked dangerous in these moments.
And Ellen, well broken up. I'll catch Ev again. Need to be careful here. That's a silly foul. "42 minutes almost gone here in the first half. Broadmeadow Magic already, even before we go to the break, can feel a second Charity Shield within touching distance. And as you said before, Ryan, it's a funny little scoreline, 2-0. Easy to get complacent against 10 men as well. That's some nice interplay through the midfield. And again, acres of space out wide. They've got two players out there. They slice back into the middle. Topple Stanley blocks the shot. Palambini, this time it's a foul. Are we going to see the yellow card come out? No.
Yeah, as we said, Lambton Jaffas, they're going to have to do that. They're going to have to commit space. They're going to have to commit forward, leave space in behind. It's just then on Broadmeadow Magic to exploit like they did, but then punish. Be ruthless now. And I think that'll be probably Jimmy Kresner's message at halftime. We're going to find ourselves in these positions. We have to be ruthless. We have to kill the game, put it out of sight, and we walk away with the silverware.
Certainly in their hands at the moment. Broadmeadow. To the back post. Kennedy punches it away. Baker does well. Nice touch around Finn. Crosses it. Heavy to the right. Set back. Can they create something here? Not quite what they're looking to execute, but still dangerous. They cross it into the box now. Headed on. The header too big. And straight away you see Nick Kachev grabs his head. Disappointed that he didn't do better with that. It was a well-placed cross into him. And he just was erroneous in his finish. Of course, the Charity Shield, all in support of the Hunter Medical Research Institute, the charity partner of the Charity Shield, and wonderful opportunity for the football community to unite and support a great cause and give back. So big thanks to all of those who have turned up here tonight, and if you haven't, you can always connect with the Hunter Medical Research Institute and support them through a donation. You see Sato now. Finn. That was careless. It's mid-shin, he's got him there, and again, the yellow card getting a workout tonight. Well and truly outstripped last year. I remember last year was quite a passionate game, and there's only 3 yellows in that one. And interestingly enough, none of those players in action. Now Sato. I think that was a 1 minute of added time. It was very confusing, either that or number 0's coming off and number 1's coming on. Either way. Pre-season's for getting all the bugs out of the systems, isn't it? I just hope it wasn't 10 held up backwards, because we're going to be here for a while. Another corner, though, for Lambton. A real host of corners in this first half, especially on that eastern side where Sato is now. Imagine the momentum it would carry if they could snare something here. Sato, who's he looking for? Finn making a run. Topple Stanley making a nuisance of himself. The ball falls. It's hit. McShane sprays it. He's almost hit it into the next postcode.
Yeah, you said it, Chris. For me, these are moments for Lambton Jaffas. Set pieces. They got the likes of Topo Stanley in there, Finn. They got some big boys in there. They got to make them count. Sato's putting some excellent balls into the box, and Lambton Jaffas have just failed to capitalise on any of them right now. And that was another example there of where Jaffas probably need to be a little bit more clinical.
Ball for Baker. Lovely little touch there, and he finds himself again for something different in space. Pops it in, but Kennedy up to the measure. And that will be half-time. Lots to unpack there. 2 goals for the Magic. 2 very quick in succession yellow cards to one of the key members in Jimmy Oates for the Jaffas. They're down to 10. What's the message of your David Tanchevsky at half-time, Ryan?
Yeah, I just want to give a little bit of a compliment here to Dave Tanchevsky, because he moved Sato into almost like a left midfield position. Now, for me, he's been the player for Lambton Jaffas that's looked to make things happen. When he's had the ball, they've looked real dangerous. The last 10 minutes there, where Lambton Jaffas started to almost come back into the game, you saw Sato's positioning. He went back to being central again. So it looked like Finn and Sato a little bit higher up the field. Now, that's risky for Dave Tanchevsky, because it's going to leave space. It's going to leave space.
What does medical research look like? Become involved in local research with global impact. Hunter Medical Research Institute.
What you and I are going to do, we might take a little breather. We'll rejoin everyone in about 5 to 10 minutes of the second half.
No matter who you are, there's a place for you to play football with us. Registrations for the 2025 season are open now.
Football is
everywhere! It's everywhere!
On the beach, at school, at the park, in the backyard or on the pitch. Football is everywhere in northern New South Wales.
Football is Newcastle.
Lake Macquarie.
The Hunter Valley.
Search Northern New South Wales Football to find your club and join our team, because football is everywhere in Northern New South Wales.
What does medical research look like? Become involved in local research with global impact. Hunter Medical Research Institute.
No matter who you are, there's a place for you to play football with us. Registrations for the 2025 season are open now.
Football is
Everywhere! It's everywhere!
On the beach, at school, at the park, in the backyard or on the pitch. Football is everywhere in northern New South Wales.
Football is Newcastle.
Lake Macquarie.
The Hunter Valley!
Search Northern New South Wales Football to find your club and join our team, because football is everywhere in northern New South Wales.
Welcome back for the second half of the 2025 Hunter Medical Research Institute Charity Shield. You're watching Northern New South Wales Football YouTube. Chris McPherson and Ryan Deutsch covering the game for you. And Ryan, it was a lot of positive for red and not a lot of positive for yellow if you're a neutral watching that first half.
Yeah, Broadmeadow Magic head coach Jim Cresden will be very happy with that first half performance. Some real individual performances for me. Jared Baker, absolutely outstanding first half, and also Tommy Beecham at the back there. He looked like a wall at times. Some key blocks, some key defending. So certainly Jimmy Cresden will be the happy of the head coaches at half time. I'm interested to see if and when Lambton Jaffas make any changes.
Well, it looks like Broadmeadow Magic have made a change. Luis Alvarez, you've been phenomenal. Have a spell, son. I suppose it's one of those ones that maybe just putting him on ice a little bit because, God forbid, you're up 2 or 3-0 in this game and he strains or stretches something and misses the opening few rounds. So, look, again, we saw that phenomenal save. I think the number one spot's here's clear quite clearly, but a good chance for them to have a look at Taylor Pate in the 40 who's come on. And again, backup goalkeeper's not necessarily a fun job all the time. You don't see a lot of game time, so for him to get a full half here is nice.
Yeah, and that's what it might be. Jimmy Cresden may have just thought an opportunity to get a younger keeper in, second choice in, give him a little bit of game time with 2-0 up in a game where they've looked comfortable so far. So an opportunity potentially.
Certainly is, but we are back underway and Lambton straight to it. We're going to get into some strong ball movement, and the pressure from the defence is equally as strong. I think Yuhei Sato's words might have rubbed off on his striker. A little bit of push and shove here. I feel like Nathan Finn might have a little bit of a power and size advantage there. And again, might have found his way to ground a little easier than he needed to in that situation. But and we've got a red card. My goodness. Nick Kachev is back to the sheds and it's 10 on 10. I don't think that 2 red cards was on our bingo card for tonight, Ryan.
No, and I don't know what he's done there, because it's just absolutely silly for me that you've come out, you're 1 minute into the second half. Potentially Jaffas have even talked about that at half time, about how they can rile up some Broadmeadow Magic players. And, you've literally played right into their hands there. And now a game that potentially Broadmeadow Magic could have really enjoyed, got some minutes into some legs, those kind of things. It's a silly decision from the Broadmeadow Magic player there. And again, for the neutral, potentially we've got a game on our hands now.
Certainly very interesting. And again, just proves how crucial it was, that readjustment in that first half for David Tenchevsky. You keep your team in the fight. They go into the break at 2-0, come back out, prod a few. And I'm intrigued to know what went down there, because it didn't look like there was that much in the challenge. So I don't know whether it was the push, or maybe he's given some constructive feedback to the match official, and we certainly don't condone any of that. Certainly a piece where our referees need to absolutely be respected, and there is zero tolerance for any of that. So maybe he's overstepped the mark there. I don't know. Time will tell, but the silly thing for him is, it means he likely misses the start. Well, he's going to miss the start of the season as well, because that's the other thing. It's not just going back to 10 on 10 here.
Yeah, and I think how that will affect this game now is there'll be a little bit more space opening up for Lambton Jaffas in possession. You saw the switch of play there. Okay, it wasn't a great first touch from the Jaffas player on the far side, but already there's a little bit more space here in these kind of areas. And if this boy on the ball, Sato, can find himself in those little pockets of space, I'm really looking forward to what he can do in this next half of football.
That was exactly where my mind went when you started talking about extra space, is the little jack in a box, how he goes, and then also having a chat to a couple of people at halftime about the potential impact of Kirihara, and some that have seen him already, suggesting that he will be, not maybe, will be in the top echelon of strikers in this league, which is a pretty big target to have. Yeah, throw in deep in defensive territory for Broadmeadow Magic, but we said that they had the game in their own control. I didn't think the way they were going to control it was going down to 10. As you said, as a neutral, and certainly means that you're a little closer to the edge of your seat for the next 42 minutes.
Especially the next goal now, Chris, is absolutely crucial for either side. If Broadmeadow Magic get the next goal, it's probably going to put a blanket over this fire right now. But if Lambton Jaffas get the next goal, at any point in this second half, there's going to be a real finish on the hands.
It also adds some intrigue to the change at half-time of the goalkeepers, right? Like, again, we haven't seen much from Taylor Pate yet, but we know Alvarez is, up there with his opposite number here today as, the top of the pops in terms of the goalkeeping talent we have in northern New South Wales. If it starts to get into the balance late, how does the youngster respond? But, maybe, let's say, the best irons forged in the toughest fires or something like that. I think I've got that completely wrong, but we'll go with that. Why not?
Yeah,
I'll start making up my own quotes now.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
Griffiths. Langlois has a shot, and he's beaten him. And there it is, the Jaffas. They get one back. The new signing, Joseph Langlois. And all of a sudden, it's 2-1. And you can bet your bottom dollar it's game on here in the HMRI Charity Shield.
Yeah, and you know what? Newcastle Olympic have transferred Cale Bradbury over to their side from the Lambton Jaffas, hoping to get goals. And it's actually the Newcastle Olympic ex-boy here that's got the goal for Lambton Jaffas today. Fantastic finish. Again, space on the edge of the box. Broadmeadow Magic didn't give that space away when they had 11 players. There's only 10 players on the field now. They have to give space somewhere. They've chosen to do it there on the edge of the box. Fantastic hit by Langlois, and Jaffas back into it.
That's just a silly nudge there, and a free kick will go back the way of the Jaffas. And I have to feel a little bit for Pate there. I think he was unsighted until the last minute. There's a lot of bodies in traffic, but
and he got a fingertip on it, Chris. He did get a fingertip on it, and you could see from his reaction he was actually a little bit disappointed in himself. I think that his hand wasn't a little bit stronger. But to be fair to the kid, I think he saw it late, as you've suggested. So, he tried his best there. It was at reach. A little bit unfortunate for the goalkeeper there.
Certainly is, but we've got a game on our hands now. And who would have thought 5 minutes of game time ago, when it was 11-10, 2-0, we said it at the break. It's a funny old game, football.
And you can see even now where Broadmeadow Magic are. Look where they're trying to win the ball back. So it's completely changed now that they're down to 10. In the first half, they were trying to win that in their own top third.
Well, push and shove. The fans on the hill getting a little vocal. A little bit of passion coming out. And speaking of that, we're going to see a bit of a roar here, I think, because I think the change that's coming is coming. It is. Archie Finn's going to come off. And Shisuke Kirihara, the young product out of the Yokohama F. Marinos system, will come on for his first official run in Jaffas colours. And now I have a feeling that we've got two live wires at the front here. And we could be about to see something very exciting if he's half the player that some of the good judges in northern New South Wales are suggesting. Topor Stanley, you can see straight away he's active, he's on the move. Kirihara beats one, cuts inside two, plays it dangerously into the box. I thought he was going to create an assist with his first touch. The defence of the Broadmeadow Magic look like they're going to have their hands full. Jaffas, a red card and a goal have got them hungry. Look at them push now. Kirihara, a long range shot. Oh! Beats a diving Pate, beats the post as well. It's well hit from Taylor. One of the changes that's come on.
Do you know what as well? I think there's an option here for the Lambton Jaffas. They've got Sato and Kirihara up front. I'd like to see one of those boys with Finn up front and potentially one of the Japanese boys playing just behind. I think they've got a few options that they could look into. So Finn's gone off, but I think in the future, potentially pairing Finn with one of them, with one in behind, could be a real option.
It's interesting to see even some of the runs already. It looks like they're starting to move around. Taylor's just slotted into the middle for a moment there, so I wouldn't be surprised to see a little bit of musical chairs up front there. And again, just adds another level of complexity for Broadmeadow trying to keep track of where the two live wires are. And I mean, Taylor's no slouch either. And you can see that now because all of a sudden Kirihara is at the head of the attack. Sato swung to the left again. Langwa pops it out for Sato. That's a nice ball. What can he create here? Into the box. He tries to beat 3 players. That's optimistic even for the best. Topple Stanley. Stewardson, the opening goal scorer. It feels like a lifetime ago that Jaden Stewardson scored that first goal. There's been so many twists and turns, and you feel that the next 36 minutes will have a couple more yet. All seen off by the Kresnar of the Joseph variety. It's hard keeping track of which Kresnar's which at the moment. There's plenty of them. And they're all very good at what they do. Langwa does well to hold on under pressure. McShane, Bond. Nice little touch to cut back away from the pressing Magic player. Topple Stanley sees some open paddock and winds up and goes forward.
Yeah, Topper Stanley was never finding himself in these kind of areas in the first half, so he's really advanced. Lambton Jaffas really aggressive now. I like it.
Sort of player that likes it when he gets a little bit of open space in front of him with the ball at his feet. He's not afraid to put his head down and charge forward. And even if he sniffs a goalkeeper off their line, take a shot from 40 or so out, he doesn't mind one of those. Sometimes not necessarily when he needs to, but you can't blame the centre-backs. They don't often get those shots, so take them when you can. And I think he's still living the glory of that one he hit at McDonald Jones Stadium about 15 years ago.
To be fair, Chris, it was some hit.
I was fortunate enough to be a member sitting in the front row just in front of that. And, yeah, one of my favourite moments at that stadium alongside the grand final, despite the result. Look, here he goes now. Sato slicing through. Just a little clip. No, he will go to his pocket for a yellow.
And you know what, Chris? That's the type of area that I think if somebody like Finn, who's gone off, pairs with Kirihara up front, that means that Sato now can operate a little bit deeper because he looks so dangerous when he picks the ball up in those kind of areas, in those little pockets. Yeah, super first touch, great dribble, and, you know, really gives defenders decisions to make.
Well, as you said, it's like we talked about Baker in the first half. He just has that beautiful close touch. He knows how to get the ball into the right position, so they've got to make a decision of, do I let him run there, or do I just give him a bump and see if I can get away with it? And again, we've seen time and time again across the opening 56 minutes here, our referee today has been on the spot and has absolutely nailed any of those that need to be nailed, and the ones that don't has let them go. So, a little conversation going on here. Seeing people trying to take long-range shots. Nicola Topper Stanley's trying to have his say in there, and I can hit it from this sort of range, and I think he's been politely told that he probably should head forward. Langwa with the fake. Sato into the wall, spills down dangerously. Taylor chasing up. And it'll go out and it'll be a throw in. They're not wasting any time. Continuing to try and press their momentum are the Jaffas. Nice ball movement there. Try to thread the ball, but broken up well. And again, the defence, Broadmeadow, they see Ben Kennedy off his line. Optimistic. He just strides it out and watches it go across.
I'll tell you what Broadmeadow are, though, Chris. They're energetic. They're young. They're not going to stop. You know, so I think they're by no stretch of the imagination out of this competition. No stretch of the imagination.
You feel like all 3 results are well and truly still on the table right now. Could we see another lot of penalties? We saw them in the women's game. In the meantime, dangerous here. Oh, he's lost his footing. You feel if he got to that, he had the step of the metre of space on top of Stanley. Kennedy was caught at the other post. Was that the chance that the Jaffas needed? You just feel for Stewardson. I think he thought he had his second, and then his torso got ahead of his feet.
Tell you what, Jared Baker looked like a racehorse out there then.
Look, if there's a charity sprint going on at any time this season, I'm not taking on Jared Baker or Yuhei Sato, that's for sure. A pair of boys with a pair of wheels each.
Yeah, they glide, and you know what that is, Chris. That's balance, and that's the ability to move across the ground, short steps, real fast, explosive power. He really blew the Lambton Jaffas fullback out of the water there, did Jared Baker.
Well, picked out then by Broadmeadow. They stopped the attack for the time being. Palambini, apart from his loose challenge that got him a yellow card earlier, has been impressive in his first outing in red. Good pick-up for the Magic. I feel he's going to be solid in their midfield.
This is what Magic need. They need a little bit of time on the ball, enjoy possession, move Lambton Jaffas around, and not give the ball away silly.
Jaffas now work at Topple Stanley and Bond. Topple again given some space and dutifully takes it. Continue just to move it around, looking to orchestrate some space. Topple Stanley again. Plays it nicely. Kirahara. Good challenge.
They're trying to draw Broadmeadow out here. That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to make one of their players jump out, just like Kresner has there, and potentially find some space in behind. Find a player in a little bit of pocket. But good discipline defending there from Broadmeadow Magic.
Paint rolls it out. Both sides starting to get patient with their build-up. You feel after that frenetic start to this second half, and just as I say that, the commentator's curse. Baker goes on a run again. Sets it up for Ingham. Kennedy out. The experience just snatches it from his feet.
He's probably just a little bit too far ahead of Will Ingram there. It's a fantastic underlapping run from Ingram. He saw a 2v1. Good save by BK.
Pace that he came out off that line with, belying the fact that next Friday BK turns 38, as we see Lambton have a strike at the other end. Not happy with his finish there, Riley Taylor. I think he feels he could have done a little better, or maybe even picked out Kirahari flying through at the back post is what I think he was wanting after. But hindsight's a wonderful thing.
Yeah, he needed to move it a little bit quicker. He should have played it probably one step earlier if he was going to go across the box to Kirahara. In the end, he probably needed to take the shot on himself.
It looked like he kind of got caught between the two in the end. Instead, now Magic go on the attack. Magic get the ball. Got space down the left. They come to the right. What can they do? They got runners coming into the box. And it looks like Magic starting to show some early signs of fatigue. And the wall of yellow centralises, compacts, and sees it off. It's amazing how Lambton all of a sudden had 7 defenders around the top of the 18-yard box, and there's only one attacker running in to try and create any sort of option. It's a funny game, football with a bit of momentum.
Yeah, it's quite transitional, Chris. That's the problem right now. So even if Lambton Jaffas win this ball right now, there's not much for them higher up the field. So it's quite transitional right now. This is what needs to happen for Broadmeadow Magic. They're the team that's in front. They're the team that doesn't need to rush anything right now. They can keep possession. Somebody coming underneath the ball here because he can't play forward. That's what he needs.
Ball kicked away. It is going to come back. Referee tried to let the advantage play up, and that's what he's been doing all day, is just trying to, as the old adage says, let the boys play. And it looks like we're going to see some changes for Broadmeadow. And then once the changes are done, it will be, looks like Joseph Kresner after Matthew Buettner was all over him there.
Yeah, smart from Jimmy Kresner there. He's probably seen that last action there where Broadmeadow was struggling to support the player in possession. So he's probably just freshening things up. And like I was saying, Broadmeadow Magic are the team that's in front right now. They don't need to push anything. They don't need to risk anything. They can move the ball around, keep Lambton Jaffas working, try and find pockets of space, patience on the ball, discipline. That's what I'd be looking for my team right now.
Change there. Palambini coming off. Sioram Lee coming on in the 18. He slots into. Looks like he's almost. They've got him out on the right now, have they? Sloppy turnover. Taylor tries to turn on the afterburners. Can't beat Ingram, though. He plays back to Pate. Unsurprisingly. Jack in a box that is Sato pushing up, pressing, forcing the decision. And as you said, Ryan, it's an interesting one as they find Baker free. McShane doesn't have to get a boot in for the time being. And he kicks it in to Baker to do well and get away with a goal kick. As I was saying there, it's easy to think if you're Broadmeadow here that you're the team under pressure because you've conceded a red card, you've conceded a goal. But look at the scoreboard, you're up 2-1. If you can get composure, you're controlling the game. It's 10 on 10. You're not at a disadvantage anywhere here realistically. Top of Stanley. Langlois. Beautiful run from Butner down the left here if he can find him. He's seen him now. The defence has reacted a step, but maybe not enough, but that doesn't matter. The touch from Langlois a bit too heavy and ends up in the crowd. Now the Magic. Ingram lays it off. 1-2. McShane does well again to see it off over the sideline. Ryan's been working overtime, so we're going to give him a little bit of a break, and we're going to welcome in the New South Wales Football CEO, Pete Haynes.
Chris, how are you?
I'm going very well. This game's had a little bit of everything so far.
It is. It's lively for a pre-season. I'm not going to call it a friendly because it's got a bit about it. It's a great spectacle.
No one's making friends out there at the moment, that's for sure. We've seen a couple of red cards, some yellows, and a few goals already. We saw a thrilling game in the girls as well that went to penalties. We're not ruling that out here yet either. But the reason we're here at the moment is in support of the charity partner that is the Hunter Medical Research Institute. And how important is that partnership for Northern New South Wales football?
Yeah, absolutely, Chris. You're dead right. It's a wonderful partnership for us. It's a wonderful partnership for the community and our football family. The Hunter Medical Research Institute do a magnificent job. We've got aligned goals, aligned values. We want our communities and our football family to be healthy, to be safe, and to partner with HMRI, who do so much fantastic work in the research industry, looking into things like stroke, cancer, some really, really important illnesses that touch all of us at some point. It's great to be able to give back to them.
Yeah, it's so wonderful when we can get behind a charity partner. So often footballing communities are touched when there is a tragic incident, and then we rely on these sorts of the research that these guys put out. So it is wonderful. And in saying that, the football community has dug deep, and there's been not only a great crowd here getting behind it and making donations, but some individuals and groups making some wonderful donations as part of the event that we've held.
Yeah, absolutely. Tonight it's our absolute pleasure to make sure that all the gate takings go directly to HMRI. They've run a raffle which has been really successful. We've had some individual donations from some really generous members of our crowd tonight, where Northern New South Wales Football are donating $500 on behalf of each of the player of the matches from the men's and women's game. And it's wonderful to confirm to viewers that tonight.
See, the Jaffas going to attack. That's diffused.
Nearly stole my thunder there, the Jaffas. But, really, really pleased to announce that the football family have managed to raise just over $3,500 tonight for HMRI. And we look forward to presenting that donation to HMRI as part of the presentation tonight. But it just goes to show what a wonderful, generous and knowledgeable football family we have here in Northern New South Wales.
We certainly do. I might come back to you in a second. We'll just see how this corner pans out from the absolute ball of energy that is Yuhei Sato. Drops this one a little short. There's players on the ground here. A few upset, but Broadmeadow clear it away, and the evergreen veteran that is BK. We're just talking about BK. He turns 38. You wouldn't believe it in a week's time.
Unbelievable. What a career. And it's great to see, people like BK. We're seeing Roy O'Donovan join Newcastle Olympic. My apologies. this season. So many great A-League talents. Nicola Topless-Stanley's out on the pitch as well, coming back into our league, and reluctant to say giving back to the football family. It's extending their career and giving their quality to our game and our competition.
O'Hara brought down. It's going to be another card. The referee's going to be getting RSI, the amount of cards he's given out. And that's a third red, because that is a second yellow. My goodness. I said to Ryan Deutsch before, two red cards wouldn't have been on our bingo card, but 3 definitely weren't. And Broadmeadow, in the space of 20-odd minutes, have gone from 2-0 up and a man advantage to a man disadvantage. And we're also going to see a change at the same time. I'm just trying to identify who that is. So Jared Baker surprisingly coming off for Broadmeadow. He's been close to their best, and Jesse Hill will come on. But while that all calms down before we get to this set piece, and James Kresner has gone for his second yellow. We've got a big season ahead of us as well. Pete, this is obviously a wonderful advertisement in terms of the passion that the boys are playing with. We might leave it at that, but excited to see next week Bell Swans coming in for the first time.
Absolutely, yeah. Great. We might. I might pass back to you, Chris, for the free kick here.
Sato over the dead ball, just outside the 18-yard box, almost in line with the left upright. Topple Stanley trying to provide a nuisance of himself around the penalty spot. Sato's going to go himself, curls it over the wall, but Pate does well and diffuses it.
Yeah, you're dead right, Chris. Though we've, it's wonderful to welcome Belmont Swansea back to the NPL family. They've had a while in Northern League One, but wonderful campaign. They've absolutely earned the right to be at the top table. Can't wait till Thursday night to the NPL Northern New South Wales men's competition kicks off. I'll be out there at Belmont Swansea to what'll be a historic night to see them back in the top flight. It's a wonderful club, wonderful people out there, and great to have representation from that part of the lake. It's going to be really good to see. And then obviously on the women's side, Lake Macquarie will make their debut in the NPL women's this year. Lots of player movement, lots of exciting stories coming out of that competition as well. And if tonight is any indication of the excitement we're going to get this year, it's going to be a bumper year.
It certainly is. Well, thank you, Pete Haynes, for joining us. Really appreciate your time, and what a wonderful note to wrap that up on $3,500, the mark raised, which will be presented to HMRI. As we see a strike go just wide from the Jaffas. And it's all happening here, and now another change. And also a change in the commentary. Ryan's back with me. We'll just have a look at what have we got going on here. Lachlan Griffiths coming from the field, and Oscar Krakenthorpe coming on. I was a little bit surprised there while you were off air. Not only did we get a red card, we also saw the guy who I thought's been the heartbeat of, well, certainly the heartbeat of their attack. Was it an interesting choice by Jim Kresner to replace Jared Baker?
Yeah, it was, and certainly one that I wasn't expecting. But we don't know any backstories. Potentially, there's some potential injuries there or anything like that. Certainly, what I would say is Jim Kresner would be wanting Jared Baker fit and ready for the start of the season next week. So, whilst we don't like it, it's probably not unexpected entirely.
Certainly not. They've got a huge game next Friday night, so a 7-day turnaround for them up against Edgeworth. Back here at Jack McLaughlin, so they'll know the lay of the land pretty well by then, and I think they'll probably be a little bit cooler heads in that one. You would think and hope. Who knows, though? Who knows what football's going to deliver?
Yeah, no, and that is the shock for me. That was the shock, because I'm not sure why Kresner decided to make that tackle there on the edge of the box. There was defenders in front of the attacker. He was on a yellow card. We talked about Broadmeadow Magic being disciplined and structured, and they're not the ones that are trying to chase the lead or anything like that. And then a moment of madness, and now Lambton Jaffas will really fancy themselves in this.
Strong tackle in the midfield. There is absolutely nothing being left in the tank here. There's going to be a lot of battered and bruised boys come tomorrow morning. The recovery session's going to get a workout, whether it's Newcastle Bars, Merriweather Bars, or wherever else these guys go. But yeah, I think there's going to be a few sore lads, but it's great to see they're absolutely leaving nothing behind. It just shows what this means to them.
Yeah, again, I said it earlier in the first half, Chris, a credit to these two teams, to these two clubs, and a credit to this competition. I think, these competitions are really important for setting a precedent for the season. Broadmeadow Magic absolutely did it last year with their 3-1 win in this fixture with the same clubs last year. Went on to a fantastic season.
Interesting now with a little bit of treatment. Just trying to identify who that is. Looks like it might be Jesse Hill that's just come on. I'm sure Jim Kresner's not going to be disappointed by this opportunity just to have a quick chat to the troops and say, boys, we've got just under 20 minutes to go. We're still in front. Yes, we're down a man. But let's just, be positive, disciplined, that key word again. But I'm still scratching my head about this because the James Kresner stuff was almost an exact replica of what happened in the first half with Jimmy Oates. Like a yellow card, a silly one that wasn't that necessary, and then less than 10, in that 10-minute range. Like, it's still fresh in your mind. It's not like you got one in the 7th minute and now it's the 77th. It's just, we've just... Fatigue. I'm going to give the benefit of the doubt and just say it's fatigue. Like it's either fatigue or madness, one of the two.
Yeah, but Chris, any time that you're on a yellow card and you go to ground, you give the referee a decision to make. Whether you win the ball or whether you don't win the ball, you're giving the referee a decision to make. And when you're 2-1 up, with chance of silverware on the line, with 20 minutes to go, I think for me, I think you stay on your feet there and hope that your defenders do you a favour.
My thing is Jesse Hill going off after he's only been on for 5 minutes. He's got the Cobra Kai bandana.
Yeah, he landed funny. I think, Chris. I think it was when he went to ground there. I think he landed funny, and it looks like it's potential collarbone.
He's got the swing on, yeah. So Ryan Ensor will get his chance though. So again, this game's had a little bit of everything.
It's interesting, okay, so I look at people like Topper Stanley in these breaks because there's experience there. He's talking to the other players around him. You can see right now that, he's talking to Butner. He's probably telling him that he wants him to get higher so that Topper Stanley can get the ball in advanced areas and really look to overload Broadmeadow Magic in wide areas. I'd be looking for that with 20 minutes to go.
Also coming off Jaden Stewardson, and he's replaced by Tom Parks. And the thing I note, you saw the body language even when Broadmeadow went over there. They were quite animated, and whilst animation can be good, the calmness and composure of Topper Stanley, and we know that he can be as feisty as anyone out there if he needs to be, but just so calm, that conversation with Butner, it was just a reassuring. This is, a little couple of calm directions. Again, emotion could almost be the enemy at this point for these sides.
Yeah, you can see, and those areas there, Topper Stanley's not going to carry the ball because it's quicker for him to move it. It's this area now when he starts to get on the ball. If he gets on the ball in these areas, and Butner now getting higher. Look where Butner is now as an example.
And here it comes.
Here it is. Let's see. He looked for him, right? He looked for him. You can see that's happening.
Yeah, Lee did well just to get his body to the outside and sort of close that lane. That was a inventive back heel, but he was offside. Sato.
But Topper Stanley, with his experience in this league, and I think Pete was mentioning it earlier about players that have been in the A-League come back into our league. He's a class act when he plays football, and you can see the experience that he has, and what a pleasure for the players around him to be playing with somebody like with his knowledge and experience.
Yeah, I'm sure it's wonderful when you're at the back here and part of that defensive line, and you've got that composure and experience, as you said, not only of top or, but then almost on cue for us, he heads it back to the other man of experience in Ben Kennedy. Two guys that it's easy to forget that Topper Stanley won an Asian Champions League. And here we are still getting the pleasure, admittedly, a couple more years advance, but still more than holding his own here in the NPL. And it's wonderful to see that he's gone full circle from a youngster in the NPL down in Canberra to now a much more experienced version in the NPL here in northern New South Wales. Langlois, he's looked quite solid on the ball today. He's got a goal to his name as well. Now they're going to come back to Bond. Again, I doff my cap to him. He's done a good job since he slotted into defence there. Probably not what he's expecting was going to be happening in the first half. He's taken to it with aplomb. And again, that word, they're just composed here. They're not rushing. It could be easy to start panicking. Just over 10 minutes remaining. They're just taking their time, trying to structure, trying to find that, as you touched on Ryan before, just trying to lure someone out of the line, especially when they're down to 9. That's going to create a significant amount of space. Buettner does well. Topple Stanley running the overlap around. Crosses the ball into the front row of the crowd.
I think he was getting a nosebleed there, potentially, Chris. He was that high up the field. You know, we certainly weren't expecting him to be making those kind of runs. But credit to Broadmeadow Magic in that moment there. Yes, Jaffas were trying to shift them around. But like I said earlier, Broadmeadow Magic, they've got energy. They're a young side. If they can get that structure, which they absolutely had there, it's going to be very difficult for Lambton Jaffas in the next 12, 15 minutes.
Certainly is. As we head here. Anything can happen from here. Still plenty of time to play. Kennedy. I'm still scratching my head at the fact that we've only got 19 players left on the field.
It's going to turn into a basketball game, Chris.
Six-a-side, bit of six-a-side soccer. Bit of futsal. I feel, though, that there's still something to come in the tail of this game. There's some more of a twist. Krakenthorpe, Langlois,
Jaffas probably need to commit a few more people forward here. You can see Jaffas right now, there's 4 or 5 players marking nobody back here. I think that's where they can be a little bit more adventurous for me.
And it feels like they're wasting Sato when he's sitting back there, doesn't it? And immediately as we say that, he starts to push up to the edge of the 18-yard box. It's interesting to see. Broadmeadow, no real urgency to push upfield. They're happy. They know that they've got the goal lead at the moment. They're almost inviting the Jaffas to try and take them on. The right idea. Kirahara turns well. Can't thread the needle, though. Clumsy challenge. Kirahara apologising to his teammates.
Yeah, well done, Jack Simmons there. Really smart play from the Broadmeadow Magic midfielder. Gets his body between ball and defender, protects the ball really well, buys his side a little bit of time, have a breather, you know, and put a bit more pressure back onto the Lambton Jaffas.
So Jaffas ready to play what might be their final substitute, their final rotation potentially. At least one player ready to come. Intriguing to see who they decide to pull out. Does David Tenchevsky go all out here? Sato lobs the ball forward. Again. You don't have to be a genius to guess who's the person there. What a wonderful strike. This is rattled the crossbar. My goodness.
Incredible hit, that. Incredible
Krakenthorpe.
hit.
From nothing. Just a bit of space and decided to have it. And Deegan, as we see, it'll be Lachlan Graham coming on, and it will be the right back in Zach McShane coming off the field. Looks like he's giving instructions to Buettner to drop back. They're going to go to a 3-man defence here, and it's exactly what they're going to do.
See, for me, Chris, I don't even think they need 3 here. So there's 3 of them right now against 0, right? I think that could be potentially 2, and that can push Buettner a little bit higher and get an extra body into that forward line.
Nicely placed ball. Confusion between Sato and Graham, though. Neither went for the ball in the end. Interesting decision. And I think the referee, again, as he has done in so many situations today, has got that one right.
Broadmeadow Magic have looked fairly solid in the last 10 minutes, and I think that's what Jimmy Crescent will be most pleased about right now. They went down to 9 men, but since then have shown a real discipline.
They really look like they've consolidated since that opportunity they had just to go and take a breather. The ball spills here.
See, Broadmeadow Magic will take that. They'll take that all day long, Chris. Yes, okay, you're opening up an angle to shoot, but it's from distance. You've got bodies between the ball and the goal. Broadmeadow Magic will take that all day long.
Ben Kennedy a little frustrated with his former Newcastle Jets teammate there. I'm not sure what the challenge and issue was. He might have wanted the throw to come to him and send them forward. Buettner trying to create some space down the left. They've got open on the right as well. Where's Topple going to go here? He goes to Sato, who plays it back. Less than 7 on the clock. At some point, that next gear of urgency you feel has to come here. Bond. Butner, he's got space to take if he wants it. Broadmeadow closed down quickly, though. Krakenthorpe. And the offside flag goes up. All the build-up amounts to naught.
Yeah, again, great defending from Broadmeadow Magic. You can almost see, Chris, it's like a training session right now. There's 8-9 minutes left on the clock, and it's 2 banks of 4 from Broadmeadow Magic, and they're just working hard, keeping spaces and gaps between them as minimal as possible, not allowing Lambton Jaffas to play through them. If they're going to play anyway, it's around the outside of them. This is almost like a training session for them right now, and you know, so far so good.
And sometimes that's the key, isn't it? Shift, that mental shift. That may have actually been the conversation with Kresner. Is it's essentially a 2 banks of 4 training drill. We'll leave Lee to float up the front, which is what he keeps doing. If anyone's going to advance forward, but they have no real need to do that at the moment. Just enough to stretch Lambton. Now Lambton will try to stretch them on the counter. They can't quite find their target. Well, one out there, Krakenthorpe. Does well to beat another. Oh, my goodness. What are people doing out here? They've lost the plot. Yellow card again. This time it's Ensor. Silly, silly fouls. No attempt to disguise it. And again, you feel they've been so solid they don't need to be doing that. Can someone send a message out and just remind him that he's on a yellow card now, because there's still 6 minutes to go. Probably shouldn't make light of that. But here we are. You can't help but shake your head at what goes on. They go wide. What can they create here? Butner crossing it in. Well done. Taylor Pate hasn't been called on for a lot yet. Really just the one that just beat him with the outstretched hand and did well there to snare that behind the pack. He's happy to slow things down and take his time. Tries the pile drive, but picks out a yellow jersey. Sato sitting very deep. Lays it back to top of Stanley. Gets it himself. That's a good ball. Butner flashing down the left. First touch and into the box. And again, they just all look at it, Lambton. Bond's going to go from range. Takes a deflection. Laid off. Bond, top of Stanley to Bond again. They go wide. That's well placed. Can they get the cross in? And Ingram kicks it out. Broadmeadow appealing for a free kick for a little bit of contact, but the referee's happy to let the boys play at this stage. Lobbed into the box, but too big, too strong, and no danger for Pate and his goal. 3.5 minutes of regulation time. And you feel like watching this, I don't know, Ryan, it's almost like Lambton just thought once that second red card happened that things were just going to fall for them, and Broadmeadow had a very different version of events in their playbook.
Yeah, and to be fair, I saw this when Broadmeadow had 10 players on the field, that there was still elements of being, you know, structured and disciplined, and since they've gone down to 9, they're not taking any risks, they're not jumping out of lines, they're staying compact. And if Jaffas are playing anywhere, it's around them, and then they hope that they can deal with the ball into the box from there.
Now, the defence stands up again. They put it out in front, an attacking opportunity for Tom Parks. Could they kill it off here, Broadmeadow? That would be something with 9 players. He tries to get to the outside of Bond. Bond gets a boot in. Parks fires it down the throat of Kennedy. The quick counter attack. Can they execute? Top of Stanley. He's going to try and free Butner up here. He thinks about winding up, thinks better of it. Beautifully done by Butner. Kirahara can't win out. Too many defenders. Butner again plays it in well. Shot taken from range. Whizzes past the left upright. Pate was slow to react to that. I don't think he realised how close it was.
It looked very, very close from here. A fantastic first touch back across his body, and a really good hit with his left foot. For me, I thought it was in from this angle.
Into the 89th minute. Time ticking down, and with it, Lambton's hopes of redemption. Broadmeadow eyeing off back-to-back charity shields. Ever-burgeoning trophy cabinet at Magic Park.
And if it does stay like this, Chris, Lambton Jaffas are going to be disappointed, I think, because for the last 20 minutes, they will have absolutely seen this as an opportunity to capitalise on Broadmeadow Magic's ill discipline, you know, in terms of the referee. And I think this will be an opportunity lost for them if they're unable to capitalise.
I agree. A little bit of confusion there. Broadmeadow thought they had a free kick for the challenge, but the referee had signalled for a throw-in. A little bit of gamesmanship probably thrown in, and just ticking a few crucial seconds off the clock. They all help the cause if you're in red right now. Butner, he's gone to another level in the last few minutes. Ball into the box. Oh, dear me. And there it is. That was just a clear shove. I don't doubt that the Magic bench are going to be incensed, and they certainly are, but it was an extended forearm into the back. Did Kirihara maybe go with it a little? I think you could be fair to say he did, but again, he's not in that opportunity if the player doesn't put an arm in his back. So, what was the line you used before, Ryan? You give the referee an opportunity to make a decision by putting yourself in that position.
You do, and in fairness to the referee, Chris, here, he had to think about it. It wasn't his immediate reaction to point to the penalty spot. He thought about it, he had a look, and he made that decision based on you know, taking a little bit of time to do it. And again, right or wrong decision, you're giving the referee a decision to make by those kind of actions.
And now, we talked about it, we made mention of it before, the change of keeper at half-time. And again, it's a big moment now for Taylor Pate. He could be the hero here. He saves the penalty. It'd be a wonderful story.
Go on, son. Put your name in lights.
How do you think Luis Alvarez is feeling on the bench? Meanwhile, we've got treatment. We've gone into stoppage time. Waiting to see what occurs from here. The player back on his feet, which is always good to see. Will be Yuhei Sato stepping up.
He's had a great game. He's had a great game. For me, him and Jared Baker were probably the two standout players.
Yeah, there's a few players that have certainly put their names up in lights. Baker obviously has had a spell for a little bit. Not sure what's happening here. Oh, he's received treatment, so he's had to go off. That's what it is. For a moment, we'd missed another red card. Sato steps up. Sato versus Pate. A little dink. Pate almost got there, but he beats the outstretched hand for the second time this evening. Pate can't quite get his hand to it. And Sato levels us up in stoppage time. And all of a sudden, a game that appeared almost over at half-time. 2-0 up Magic, a man up. All of a sudden, it's 2-2 and they're a man down. And are we going to penalties?
And you know what, Chris? I'll reflect on this one moment when Lambton Jaffas are 2-0 down in the first half, and the Lambton Jaffas players are all the way in their own half, and Sato's running after the ball down here, urging his team to go forward. He's done it all game, and for me, he's absolutely deserved that goal. Well played, son.
He has. Butner been quite impressed with Buettner. He kind of wasn't heavily involved in the first 50 or 60, but the last 20 to 30 or so, he's really come into his own. So, again, maybe an opportunity for him to identify where his ceiling might be and grow into that across the season. Here he is again, the live wire. I don't know why, but I've got real Sonic the Hedgehog vibes about Sato running around. He's 100 miles an hour, bouncing off everything. Might be the blonde hair as well, just lighting the place up.
Do you know what it is? I think it's because when you watch him move, it's like he glides across the field. Real low centre of gravity, real good balance. He's been exciting to watch tonight, hasn't he?
He certainly has. His countryman Kirihara screaming from the ball from top of Stanley. I haven't really seen him unleashed as of yet. He just hasn't quite seen a few touches that look promising, and I don't doubt that he's going to be a dangerous combo up the top there as the season goes on, as he finds his way.
A potential glimpse, because he actually won the penalty, Chris, in all that melee, and it was a good movement from him. Even there, look, he's looking to run in behind when Topper Stanley's got the ball. I think you're right, mate. I think there'll be some real good signs from him this year.
Certainly will. Bond lobs it into the box, and here he is now. He keeps it in. Buettner pops it off. Krakenthorpe under pressure. Lee goes to ground. Buettner does well, wins out, puts the ball into the box. Oh, dear. I thought they were going to snatch victory from the jaws of defeat there, Lambton. What a game we've had. If you guarantee me this in match of the round every week, I don't think that anyone would be watching anything else. Seen away for the time being. Langlois looking for a second. Loses his footing. Sato shapes to absolutely put it into next week and thinks better of it. Still stoppage time continues. What a game it's been. It's had just about everything. Phenomenal saves. Physical football. No love lost. 4 goals. 3 red cards. And if it stays like this, we'll seal it all with a penalty shootout. But you feel it's not quite done yet. It's a foot race. Topper Stanley.
Oh, I think he's pulled up.
That is not good. I was about to say he's winding back the clock with that pace, so I think he's wound it back too far. He's pulled up a little there, unfortunately. Hopefully it's nothing too serious, just a grab.
Yeah, I hope so, Chris, as well. I think I saw what you saw there, how he kind of pulled up a little bit. I hope he's okay.
Lee dispossessed. He's still trying to push through it, but you can see his gait's a little altered. Buettner throwing himself around. Both teams committed to still trying to win this. All of a sudden it's open. Ingram versus Kennedy. It cops a deflection and it misses to the left. My word. It just keeps on going. It's copped a deflection. We're going to have a corner.
Was that a tackle or was that a save? Whatever it was, Chris.
I'm struggling to interpret everything that's going on here, Ryan. It's
absolutely fantastic defending from Lambton Jaffas.
My heart rate monitor is telling me I'm at just over 100 beats a minute and I haven't moved a step in 10 minutes. This is enthralling football. Cross into the box for Magic. Oh, Lee on the volley just over the bar. Ben Kennedy animated. Firing up his troops. I'm not even going to be disappointed if the referee doesn't stop stoppage time. Let's keep going. This is wonderful to watch. Probably not wonderful if you're at Broadmeadow or Lambton fan on the hill. If my heart rate's at 100, theirs at 180.
Certainly not if you're a Broadmeadow or Lambton Jaffas coach either right now.
Yeah, can we get a welfare check on Tenchevsky and Kresnar? A little bump there. That one, no. You could almost see there, as soon as Oscar Krakenthorpe felt the slightest hand on his back, he just let the momentum take him. And again, to the referee's credit, he has been outstanding today. There's been some phenomenal performances of players on both teams, but our referee today has absolutely stood up to the measure of this spectacle, this showpiece of our game to kick off the season. And there he is again, Nikolai Topper Stanley. And the whistle goes, and for the second time tonight in the Charity Shield, we will go to penalties. What a game. There's players down cramping. There's players on their haunches. I'm exhausted. I haven't even been out in the field, Ryan.
I feel like I've been watching the UFC, Chris. Never mind the football.
Well, the one thing is there's going to be a few of these boys. There's going to be lots of boys battered and bruised. There's going to be at least 3 of them that are going to get a later start to their regular season. But anyway, the great news is we've still got more twists and turns. The girls that came down to the last couple of penalty takers, and as I said, it was Gemma Simon that iced it for Charles Senazuri. Who will be the one that gets to claim glory and silverware? Will it be the Magic adding another trophy to their cabinet? It appeared lay down misère, a certainty at half-time. The Jaffas, they've come back from the brink.
And you know what? If there's any justification for this competition, it's absolutely tonight. In the girls' game, in the boys' game right now. You know, you talk about Lambton Jaffas, you know, almost snatching a win from the jaws of defeat. But then what about the defence there, right on the last second? Whether it was a save from BK or whether it was a tackle from the defender, last-ditch defending and absolutely fantastic. For me, that kind of attitude there from a defensive point of view, that level of determination, that level of enthusiasm, that's what I want to be seeing from players within Northern New South Wales football.
I love the fact that both sides, and again, it's you can say it's a pre-season, so they're not as worried about losing it, but both sides just absolutely pushing forward. Broadmeadow down to 9 players, still pushing forward, trying to find that winner at the end that forced those stops and saves. And again, we talk about it here. Could it be the story? Young Taylor Pate. Again, it seemed like the conservative but smart decision at half-time to take Luis Alvarez off. We've seen some really good saves from him. He's been beaten a couple of times as well. The penalty, he did very well with that penalty. I mean, it was a very well-struck penalty. Not many keepers are stopping that. It was,
Christian. It was a fantastic penalty from let's be honest, a fantastic player. You know, he's really lit the night up tonight. For me, him and Jared Baker were toe-to-toe throughout this game. Sato probably... He stayed on the longest and probably because of that reason had most of the influence on the game. A fantastic penalty, which in fairness to the keeper, he guessed the right way and he almost got there. Even with the first goal, he got fingertips to it, right, which he saw late. So for me, yes, okay, he's conceded 2 goals, but he's come on and you know, I don't think he's harmed himself right now, and he's got an opportunity to, you know, to put his name in lights.
Well, again, he came on when there was 10 outfield players, and he's finished. He's got 8 outfield players. He might have to take a penalty yet at this rate. I bet that, you know, we talk about the 3 red cards not being on our bingo card. Taylor Pate's bingo card wasn't being in the limelight in a penalty shootout tonight, or potentially being, you know, 7th or 8th in the shooting line either. So
yeah, that's right. Because of course now, because Broadmeadow Magic are down to 9 players, that means now Lambton Jaffas can only select 9 penalty takers as well. So it'll be interesting to see who misses out for Jaffas if it goes that far.
Now, and again, forgive my ignorance here, does their keeper have to be included in that 9, or can I thought so. So they've basically got a team of 9 to select. They've got to pick a team of 9 now.
Correct, yes.
Well, looks like one-legged Tobble Stanley after his twinges come back out there. So, although I can't imagine him turning down an opportunity to try and rocket a penalty into the roof of the net. He won't be doing a Panenka or anything too cute, I wouldn't have thought, if he gets a chance.
I tell you what, Chris, based on the run that he made down the left wing there, it might not take him as long to get to the ball this time. No. Well, what we do know now is it's going to be Lambton first. Pate's in the net. Sato steps up. It's deja vu. We've been here already. Does he go the same way? Does Sato go to his right? That's the way he shapes. Little pull up. And oh, it's again the same spot. And it's almost an absolute repeat. Well hit by Sato. Well read by Pate. But he just couldn't quite get there. Nailed into the bottom corner. And the Jaffas lead 1-0. Bit of a rinse and repeat there, Chris. And that's the confidence of the player. You know, the goalkeeper guessed the right way again, but fantastic hit from a player that's had a fantastic game.
It's interesting watching some of the strategies of the girls, and one that really intrigued me was one of the girls from Newcastle Olympic. The referee had barely blown their whistle, and the goalkeeper was just sort of set, and she'd already kicked it. I was like, there we go. Oh! The veteran Ben Kennedy saves the penalty, and they lead 1-0.
And this is interesting, Chris, because
Simmons.
Ben Kennedy was, during the week, was having a little bit of a dig at Broadmeadow Magic in the media. He was playing a little bit of mind games with them. And certainly, after the first penalty, potentially Ben Kennedy's come out on top here.
Certainly has. The new signing, Jack Simmons from Sydney Olympic. Kennedy read it well. He's faced up to many a top-tier penalty taker, so there's no shame in being stopped. Langlois drills it into the bottom left. Well taken. He was the first goal scorer for the Jaffas, and now he gets himself again on the board in the penalty shootout. They lead 2-0. The pressure now comes on Jeremy Wilson. I wonder if it plays in his mind. He's just seen Ben Kennedy absolutely pull out a top-shelf save. I'm talking to Tara Andrews during the girls' game about whether when you go up there, do you engage with the goalkeeper? If you're set in your mind, do you just go the way you were going to go? Do you always go the same way? There's so many things that play into this, and it's undoubtedly so easy to overthink it. Wilson v. Kennedy. He goes to the right, and Kennedy again saves it. And they lead 2-0. Well, what a turnaround this has been. And the benefit of experience, having Ben Kennedy in the net. And speaking of experience, here comes that man, Nikolai Topor-Stanley. He's going to step up despite the twinge.
The only thing I'd say about Broadmeadow Magic's penalties right now is that they're at a nice height for the goalkeeper. That's the only thing I'd say. Yes, BK goes the right way, but at a really nice height, whereas Lambton Jaffas all along the ground.
The 39-year-old Topor-Stanley buries it in the left. Pate goes the wrong way, and all of a sudden the pressure all on Broadmeadow. It is must-make now for Ryan Ensor. They trail 3-0 in the shootout here. Topor-Stanley with a little bit of advice on the way through as well. Always the helpful type, isn't he? He's still... This has got to be the best spot to be in as a goalkeeper in a penalty shootout. You've saved 2. The pressure's all on the man in front of you, and you've got time up your sleeve. Ensor came on off the bench, up against Ben Kennedy, and he sprayed it over the bar! And what a twist! Back from 2-0 and a player down at half-time. The Lambton Jaffas have sought revenge for the 2024 Charity Shield. They take out the 2025 Charity Shield in thrilling scenes. A game that's had absolutely everything, Ryan. Where else would you rather be on a Friday night? What a game of football.
And you know what, for me, what a real showcase of the quality that we've got in Northern New South Wales competitions in NPL 1 this year. I'm really looking forward to the season ahead. I'm looking forward to next Thursday night. What a great way to start the season for the newly promoted team. And I'm sure you'll agree, Chris, and I'm sure everybody watching will agree here. Both of these teams, they've got some quality players. They're a quality team. And I'm really looking forward to these two battling it out all the way through the 2025 season in Northern New South Wales football.
Yeah, I think these two teams are going to be certainly right there when the whips are cracking. There's such an open competition with all the moves that have happened. As you said, a new team coming in. Lots of players moving around to different clubs. I can't wait for the season to get started. Of course, make sure you do stay tuned to Northern New South Wales Football's YouTube across the season, bringing you the games, bringing the match of the round with commentary coverage, and we'll be down there next week on Thursday. It's only 6 days away for Bell Swans up against Adamstown. Adamstown looking, after they managed to stave off relegation, looking to get the season off to the right start. Bell Swans will want to have a win and christen their home ground in its return to the NPL there at Blacksmith. But it's been a phenomenal game here. Congratulations to the Lambton Jaffas, deserving winners in enthralling fashion. Congratulations to Charles Henazuri in the earlier game. And Ryan, a big thank you to you. It's been a pleasure as always to call with you, and look forward to calling some more games with you throughout the season.
Absolutely. Thanks, Chris, and good evening, everybody.
the biggest thanks goes to our official charity partner, Hunter Medical Research Institute. Our friends at HMRI are a wonderful naming rights partner of our charity shield. And with tonight being our first competitive match of our calendar, it's a great way to ignite what I'm sure is going to be a magnificent season. Looking across tonight, we've seen 4 of our absolute top clubs start their competitive season. We thank all of those clubs for their efforts, for their competitiveness, and it's been an absolutely wonderful night of football here in northern New South Wales. Organisations like HMRI do magnificent work in the community. We share aligned values and goals, and they're wonderful people doing wonderful things for our community, and we're very proud of this partnership. HMRI are working to make Hunter the healthiest place on the planet, and we're really proud to play a part in that. Their local researchers are tackling major health challenges like stroke, cancer, mental health, and making breakthroughs that change lives every single day. Tonight's gate takings go directly to HMRI to help fund research on cures for diseases impacting your loved ones. Thanks for showing your support. Thank you so much for your generosity, and I really hope you continue to support HMRI into the future. Huge thank you to our match officials tonight. Where are they? Over to my right. It's an extremely difficult job tonight in what was an absolutely bonkers game. You did a great job under difficult conditions. We wish you all the best for the season ahead as well. I would now work those applause actually. Thank you. I'd now like to announce the player of the match for the men's Northern New South Wales HMRI charity shield. As part of our event, we'd like to donate $500 to HMRI on behalf of our player of the match. Without further ado, I'd like to announce that tonight's player of the match in the HMRI charity shield is Jaffas. Speaking of HMRI, I'm really proud and honoured on behalf of everybody here tonight, everybody that donated, everybody that came through the gate, to reveal that tonight our football family have raised $3,505, which will be donated to HMRI. And I'd like our chairman, Mike Parsons, to present the giant cheque. Dr. Giovanna and Jelly, thank you so much for the partnership. Thank you so much for everything you do for our community. Hopefully tonight is just another show of how generous our football family is. We love being part of what you do. We're looking forward to supporting you in the future. That's all from me. We'll get to the important part of recognising the players. Thank you so much for coming out tonight. All the best for your season, regardless of who you support. I look forward to seeing you on the ground. Thank you very much.
Alright, we will get to our match officials first. So I'd like to ask Mike Parsons to come up and present our match officials. We have a late change today, so our match officials today are going to be Conor Markovich, Sam Stewart, Lucy Hungerford and Sam Muir. Alright, I'd like to invite the winning captain, Ben Kennedy, to come up and first of all grab his medal from the JDL players and then say a couple of words.
First off, just thank Edworth and Northern for putting on the night. The pitch was good, as it always is here. I know Millsy and his crew always do a good job. Thanks to Magic, I think we've got you guys in a couple of weeks, so good to get up for last game before the season. So good luck, and well done to our boys. There was a good shift there, down 2-0 and had a man down, and we just kept working and lots of positive signs to go forward. So well done.
Alright, I'd like to call up the rest of the players, so when I call your name, just head down to one of your GDL players and they will give you the medal. So, Archie Finn. Jimmy Oates. Joe Langlois. Walter Griffiths. Matthew Butner. Nikolai Toko-Stanley. Pat Bond. Sam Donnellan. Tonight's man of the match, Yuhai Sato. Zach McShane. Blake Carter. Lachlan Graham. Shusuke Kirahara. Oscar Krakenthorpe. Riley Taylor. Miles Gaffney. And Jack Pandale. I'd also like to invite David Tanchesky and his coaching staff to come and receive their medals also. Alright, I'd like to invite Ben to receive this year's 2025 Charity Shield from our chairman Mike Parsons. Ladies and gentlemen, your 2025 HMRI Charity Shield champion, Lambton Jaffas.